Hi, I'm Sonia Luna, CEO and founder of Aviva Spectrum. My guest today is a longtime friend and colleague, Karla Sasser. Welcome, Karla.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
It's one of the best shows on the planet right now, Karla, and I'm so excited to have you on it. Today we're going to discuss your new book. And I know that both, accounting and IT professionals will gain a lot of value from your perspective on how to better communicate with each other. It's like opposites attracting. How should they communicate? So let's get started. Share with us, our listeners, really the inspiration to write the book, right? And how did you come up with that title?
Well, Sonia, I have really worked with many IT professionals as both accounting management, trying to get systems implemented and support for systems that we are using, and also as an internal auditor, working with audits and compliance efforts. Many of these interactions were so frustrating and adversarial that a lot of times my staff and I would come up with workarounds so we wouldn't even have to bother the IT guys. Mm-hmm. And then during a period of transition in my life, I decided to pursue a master's degree in IT. Technology has always been an interest of mine.
Mm-hmm.
As part of
it's been something that you've been doing professionally as well as part of your CIA, right?
Yep, absolutely. And then as part of that discipline, I was required to take an accounting class. After much begging and pleading with the administration to waive the requirement for me, I ended up enrolling in the class. And it was a typical accounting class that taught how to write journal entries, classify and record transactions, and, of course, preparing financial statements, stuff I already knew, and all of which is totally useless to the IT professional. Mm-hmm. However, that class was a true learning experience. When it was over, I realized that the real IT professionals did not learn one thing I needed them to know to properly support me as an accountant or an auditor. And then the book title. As I was working, my working title was Accounting Companion for the IT Professional. But my illustrator, Gary, thought it was, a little too dull, but he actually said boring. I knew I was writing a book for a target audience that really does not care for accountants or auditors, and currently they have just a tell me what you want so you'll go away attitude. As I considered Gary's illustrations, especially the one with the computer tossing the bean counter into the wood chipper, I had to agree. After college, my first boss had called me the Friggin Bean Counter, and that seemed to capture the attitude of the book. For the subtitle, I have to thank many IT professionals over the years who, in their frustration, have told me that SOX is BS. Some of them even think bean counters make it up just so we can make their lives miserable.
It's one of those necessary pains, I guess, at the accounting department, right? It's a cost center, little value, and we're just here to make your lives miserable, especially to the IT department, especially on those requests for special reports, any change management requests. Don't get me started on help ticket issues.
Right.
Yeah. And, you spoke about workarounds, and Excel is such a big workaround for a lot of accounting departments because talking or trying to communicate with the IT professional gets more and more difficult sometimes because they don't understand, let's say, segregation of duties would be a little bit too broad of a term, but they don't understand, let's say, the business unit need, and sometimes that would change because, let's say, the business model changed or the customer dynamic has changed. And so IT just sees it as, well, wait a minute, I just gave this to you last year, and now you're twerking this again, and it's really the same thing but just in a different format. Why does accounting think that way?
Right.
And yeah.
Exactly.
And I do believe that some problems are just more of a communication problem rather than a detrimental problem that's a deal breaker. But tell me something. Why don't accounting and IT always understand each other, and how did their turbulent relationship even start?
Right. Well, after that accounting class, I started researching the different types of computer science, software engineering, and other IT credentials that are out there today. When I actually looked at undergrad requirements for computer majors at, a few selected universities, I noticed that none required any business classes. And let's face it, when IT majors graduate, what are they doing? They are placed in a role of supporting a business, either by developing applications, implementing networks, or just supporting daily activities such as help desk. And a couple months ago, I met with the dean and the senior director of my alma mater, and they confirmed that IT majors do not get any business education unless they are pursuing a master's degree. And, well, I had firsthand experience on how that goes. Accounting grads receive some computer education, but it is primarily in using and navigating productivity tools such as Excel or SAP. They really don't understand computer networking, application development, or even how, a lot of times, computers work. And to compound the problem, both IT and accounting are full of industry-specific jargons. Each group assumes the other knows what they are talking about, and, for fear of looking unqualified, nobody speaks up and says to the other, I don't understand what you're talking about.
Exactly. And I know this has been a wonderful interview. I have the book myself, and I know that those of you listening here, this has been a fascinating interview with Karla. And I'm confident that after this interview, most people are finally going to get an aha moment about how to better communicate between the accounting and IT departments. So for our listeners, please grab a copy of Karla's book off Amazon.com. Once again, the title is Friggin Bean Counters, Navigating the BS-Infested Cubicles of the Accounting Department. Thank you, Karla, for coming on our radio show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, this is Sonia Luna, CEO and founder of Aviva Spectrum, signing off.